Welcome to my spoiler review of Marvel Shang-Chi and Legend of Ten Rings. I've been eager to talk more about this movie ever since I first saw it, so let's get started. The film opens the backstory telling the Legend of the Ten Rings, which grows with each generation that tells it. At its center, there's always one man who wields ten rings, which grant the wielder great power and eternal life. This opening battle is already quite spectacular, and the narration is even told in Chinese. Well, just came off viewing Spy Keeper last month, so I guess martial arts film being an experiment tracks for me. Plus, I never pass up a chance to praise Bill Pope as cinematographer, and this is no exception. Case in point, the whole Terrans fell in love with a young woman in the year 1996, facing her in combat, eventually marrying her and having children with her. She's from the village of Ta Lo, and we'll come back to that. But since the forest that hides Ta Lo is moving, which will be important later. As the story is told of young Shang-Chi, his mother tells him of the Guardian Dragon, and we see Shang-Chi in the film's president, played by Simu Liu. It's been 10 years since he came to San Francisco, making his way through life as a part-time valet who also goes to karaoke clubs with his childhood friend Katie, played by singer-actress Aquafina. Their rotation includes everything from Lil Nas X to the Eagles to Aerosmith to Disney songs. The next day, we get one of the movie's standout scenes, the bus fight on the streets of San Francisco, though I am very amused by the actual SF driver's Twitter thread of the scene. I love the energy it gives off. It has a very early Jackie Chan blend of action and humor to it. One standout is the assassin Razorfist, played by Florian Montiano. Sean and Katie are barely able to make it out alive, and after realizing the assassin took his pendant, he needs to go find his sister McCall. I was going to flash back to his training and his strange relationship with his father. I'll explain this later, but what they're saying about his mother is not what it seems. On the plane trip there, Katie remarks how obvious his civilian name is, Shang. Basically, it would be no different if I, a Steven, suddenly just started going by Uncle Steve. Even more, if I suddenly decided not viewing stuff out of my place anymore and suddenly became a member of the UK Parliament. Look at me, everyone. I'm Keir Starmer, MP for Holborn and in St. Pancras. I clearly am not. Nobody will buy that. Anyway, they reach McCall, underground fighting ring. We also get a cameo from Wong fighting the Abomination. Someone survived this day on the Incredible Hulk movie. I would deal with this rumored Emperor Hulk movie as it comes. Shang-Chi also meets one of his sister's associates, John, played by Ronnie Chang. Shang-Chi ultimately agrees to an exhibition match to look for his sister, and sure enough, she finds him. Xiaolin Zhu, played by Meng-Er Zhang. During their fight, we also get a flashback to when they were kids and how Xiaoling can sense their mother. This is part of what I mentioned, and more on that later. Shang-Chi is able to warn his sister about what's happening just as the assassins attack the building, led by the Death Dealer, played by Andy Lay. The fight / escaping the Golden Daggers Club is another spectacular highlight, and the film boasts 3 experienced actors helping together: Harry Sanders, Nat Yoon, and Elizabeth, Ronald's daughter. The fight ends when we're reunited with their father and the current Mandarin, Wenwu Zhu, played by Tony Long. I was wondering, like many others, how this movie would approach the character. I'm honestly quite satisfied, both historically and legally. As they have dinner, Wenwu muses on the events of Iron Man 3, how the world was intimidated by a man who shared a name with an orange chicken dish, taking it in a good humor. Apart from the other events of the story, I was definitely not expecting this movie to address real-world racism and cultural appropriation, yet here we are. It also seems to corroborate my theory about the character being a title in this franchise rather than one person, kind of like Ra's al Ghul in the Dark Knight trilogy. Furthering this is the appearance of Travis Slattery, played again by Ben Kingsley, who, since his last movie and the Hail of Cain short film, has sobered up quite a bit. He forms a pact with the others to find the old village for Wenwu, who is in league with the dealer at Dweller in Darkness, then stealing Razorfist's car to escape to find the village. It was a pretty creative sequence. They reach Ta Lo, meet up with their aunt, Ying Na, played by Michelle Yeoh. When they realize what one is going to do, they must ready for battle, and Shang-Chi, having learned the sickening truth, decides to confront his father. As everyone prepares for battle, Shang puts on his ancestors' robes, and we're getting another flashback to Wenwu taking on everyone who's responsible for his wife's death. But is she truly gone? I wasn't sure about the hints they were giving in the theater, but now they're making sense to me to write this review. Ta Lo prepares to face Wenwu, must stop him from reaching his Northern Darkness. The first phase of the final battle begins in the courtyard. Even just watching this at home was a very impressive scene that was definitely worth waiting for. As Wenwu heads up the mountain, Shang-Chi confronts his father in battle, calling out for turning his back on his family and insisting for a poisonous delusion. Undeterred, Wenwu knocks down his son into the water, and we get the real fate of his mother. She didn't die, she became the guardian dragon in their story. The most of shots of dragon are CGI, they did build a real one for Simu Liu to ride on. As the Warlord in Darkness begins harvesting souls, Razor Fist and the rest of the Terrains defect to Ying-Nan's side as the next phase of battle begins. Shang-Chi also discovers his rightful owner of the Terrains, reclaiming them from his father. The blue glow also changes to a gold one when this happens. Realizing his grievous error, Wenwu sacrifices himself to stop the Warlord in Darkness and save his family. The beast is driven back from whence it came by Shang-Chi and Jai Ling, and the film ends on a bittersweet note where the souls of their parents can finally rest in peace. The first Standout sees the artifacts being analyzed with Bruce Banner, who is back in his human form and still recovering from the events of the Endgame, Carol Danvers, whose hair has grown back to its length in 1995, and Wong. They find out more about the Reigns and will get played off to Eagles Hotel California. Second Standout sees their aunt taking over the facility, and the message that Terrans will return. I love it. As I record this film is the most successful movie of the year so far, surpassing Marvel's own Black Widow. To date, it has made over $224 million domestically and $431 million worldwide on its $150 million budget. Not quite Black Panther or even Captain Marvel level numbers, but I did call it for at least reaching the ballpark of the Ant-Man movies. Still looking forward to Quantumania. As another entry in Phase 4, it offers another intriguing peek in the future of the series. Thank you for letting me share it with you all again. The next one we talk about East Asian influence will not be a fraction as good as this one. You might say it will be going digital. That will be all for now. Take care, everyone.